The dark enveloped the city like a tight, thick swaddle, and it enveloped me as well. Long ago, things had transpired, leaving me a shadow of the man I was. I used to be a great detective. Not anymore. The things I've been through, a man doesn't come back to the same. He changes. I've changed. Now I spend my days sleeping, my nights walking aimlessly through the city. That, or take a seat at my favorite bar, order my favorite drink, and sip the night away. That is, till one night. All that changed, and that one dame, stepped into my bar.
Detective Preston?
It's Preston. I don't go by detective anymore. I left that line of work a long time ago.
But you've got to help me. I'm desperate. It's about my child.
What? Is he missing?
That's just it. I don't know if it's a he or a she.
The dame wasn't the brightest bulb in the bar. Lady, I can't help you.
You see, I'm expecting.
Expecting who?
A child.
Ma'am, they don't serve minors here.
No, you fool. I'm pregnant.
She looked pretty good for a pregnant broad.
Didn't you just hear me? I'm pregnant. I cannot have alcohol. You have a spoon? How did you know this was my favorite?
You used to be a detective. I know these things.
Well, detective, the problem is with my doctor.
What about your doctor?
He won't tell me whether I'm having a boy or a girl.
And?
And a girl's gotta know these things.
Sorry, lady. Doesn't sound like my type of thing.
You private eyes are all the same.
What's that supposed to mean?
You don't care about anybody but yourself.
Lady, but you said you were pregnant.
I am pregnant. These are candy. I've had a craving for them.
The woman clearly needed help. Alright, gorgeous. Maybe I can help you. What do you expect me to do?
Well, perhaps you could go see the doctor. Ask him a few questions. Get some information out of him. His name is Dr. John Pepper.
Dr. Pepper.
Yes. His practice is on 32 Elm Street.
32 Elm Street, eh? I admit, I was intrigued. Very intrigued. Alright, lady. I'll help you out just to get you out of my hair. But if I don't find anything, don't blame me.
Well, if you do find anything, give me a call as soon as you can. Babies R Us is having a sale and it ends Saturday.
As she left, she told me her name was Granger. Rebecca Granger. It was time to pay the good Dr. Pepper a visit. Excuse me. Is this your practice?
Yeah, that's my practice.
That would make you Dr. Pepper, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that's me.
Mind if I ask you a few questions? Wait a minute. Call yourself a doctor. What's the big idea of smoking? You know that's bad for you, right?
Candy.
Okay, well, can I ask you a few questions?
Go ahead.
Are you familiar with a patient of yours named Rebecca Granger?
Can't really speak of her as a patient, considering I'm a physician, but I know Mrs. Granger.
So you know her outside the practice?
Yeah, I see her from time to time.
So answer me this. What's the big idea, a nice dame like that, you refusing to tell her whether it's a boy or a girl?
Whoa, 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 you have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, I don't.
No. It was something you don't understand. The results were inconclusive.
Inconclusive?
Yeah, inconclusive.
Well, that's a likely story, isn't it? Let me ask you a question. Do you have any kids yourself?
Yeah, I got a kid.
You have a kid? Well, then you should know how it would feel if your doctor didn't tell you the gender of your baby.
This is not the same situation. You don't know what you're talking about.
Well, I think I understand plenty.
You think so?
I think so.
Hey, I don't have time for this, okay? I got errands to run. I gotta walk my wife home. I don't know who you are.
And what, something wrong with your car?
Yeah, it's in the shop. What's it to you?
Would be in the shop, wouldn't it?
Yeah, get it. Whatever, buddy.
Bikers are all the same. Smudged. A dead end. Maybe the secretary knew more.
Please come in. Hello, sir. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. I was wondering if I could ask you a few questions.
Sure, how can I help you?
I was wondering if you could tell me, is there a patient named Rebecca Granger that goes here?
I'm sorry, sir. I can't give out that information.
Listen, it's very important that I find out a few things. If you could just help me with a few questions.
Sir,
I'm just wondering if there's any reason that he would withhold information from her.
Sir, I've already told you once. That's confidential information.
Okay. How about Dr. Pepper's demeanor? Is that confidential?
No, I can share that with you, I suppose.
Have you noticed anything strange about him? Has he been odd at all any of the past week or so?
No, nothing out of the
Are
ordinary.
you absolutely positive?
Sir, this office is pretty humdrum. The only thing that comes to mind is I listened in on a conversation between the doctor and his wife.
What did they say?
Nothing too important. Something about he wanted to walk her home, but that was it.
And you're sure that's all that they said?
That's all that they said. He wanted to walk her home.
Okay. Well, if you think of anything... Whoa, there's a spider!
Oh, the spiders in this office are
I'm
awful.
sorry, I think it was just a speck on the wall. I apologize for scaring you. Thank you for all of your help.
Sure.
I hope that you have a great evening.
You too. Have a good
Thank
day,
you.
sir.
I noticed that the letter directed to Dr. Pepper had a different address than that of his practice. It must be his home address. It must be time for me to take a look around. Excuse me.
Yes, sir.
Are you the mechanic working on Dr. Pepper's car?
Oh, yeah, this is it right here. You here to pick it up?
No, sir, I'm not. I just had a few questions to ask about the doctor.
Who's asking?
I'm asking.
You here to pick it up?
No, I'm not here to pick it up. I just have a few questions for you if you don't mind.
I might mind. You got a donut for me?
I owe you.
What's your question? Ask away.
How long have you known the doctor?
He brought this car into me. It's the second time, so just a couple of months.
Okay. In your time knowing him, have you noticed him acting strange recently?
Like I said, I only met him twice. You don't get to know a man too well in 2 meetings, you know.
I understand that. How about concerning babies? Anything strange concerning babies you've noticed recently?
I hadn't talked to him about any babies, no sir.
Okay, well, have you come across anything odd?
No sir. Well, now that you mention it, there's some sushi in the AC. Didn't quite understand that one.
But that caused some problems, didn't it?
Yeah, it was not too pretty, let me tell you.
All right. Would you mind if I take a look?
Yeah, you got small hands?
Oh, no, I don't mean at the engine, sir. I mean in the car. Could I just look around real quick?
He's Japanese. I don't know how you expect anybody to work on these things. About looking in the car, I wouldn't recommend it. It's against policy.
All right. Thank you for your time, sir. Appreciate it.
Yeah, you have a good day.
Yeah, you too.
Hey, I told you to stay out of there. I hope you can dodge a wrench.
entire night wasted, looking for any clues, any shred of evidence. The only thing I found was a reclaimed addiction to candy cigarettes. It's been a long time, old friend. Wait. The card. There's something odd about it. Something I hadn't noticed before.
Preston.
It's Detective Preston.
Did you find any new information?
Why don't you tell me?
I don't understand.
What color is it? That should tell you the gender of the baby.
Thank you so much.
It's all in a day's work, gorgeous.
Well, I've got to head to Babies R Us. Again. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Detective,
Yeah.
how did you figure it out?
Wasn't easy at first. But then it all started to come together. It all began when you walked into that bar. You had this sob story about how your doctor wouldn't tell you whether you were having a boy or a girl. Thought it was nonsense at first, but then I thought, why would a doctor withhold information like that? What did he have to gain? So I told you I'd check it out. So I walked over to 32 Elm Street where I found the doctor, suspicious the entire time. But all I could get out of him was the fact that he had one kid, private practice, a wife that he had to pick up, and a car in the shop. He did, however, leave me with one thing. A card for his private practice with the words, "It's a," and the rest was smeared. Another dead end. In fact, the whole evening was dead ends. His secretary could give me nothing but the fact that he was walking his wife home, but I did see one thing, the letter, with an address that was different than his practice. I rushed over to the Pepper residence to see what I could find. All I found there was a picture of some cowboy, a set of Harry Potter books, and a cat licking itself. I would have found more if he hadn't shown up. I got out just in time before the doctor knew I was there. I still had nothing, but then I thought, what better place to find motive than in an automotive? The mechanic himself didn't have anything to offer, but the car, well, it had nothing either. Seemed like I was risking my life for a bunch of dead ends. I had nothing. Nothing at all. It was only when I fell back into my candy cigarette addiction that I realized that something was off about the card. Something I hadn't noticed before. The name. Dr. L. Pepper. Back in the bar you told me his name is Dr. John Pepper. But what was this L. Pepper? His wife. But why would her card have information on Rebecca Granger's child? Unless the information wasn't for Rebecca Granger's child. I realized then that I had seen something in that automotive. Two somethings. Car seats. Why would a doctor with one child need two car seats? Unless the Peppers were expecting. The pieces started falling in place faster than a well-fed baby fills its diaper. The secretary had heard wrong. The wife didn't want the doctor to walk her home, but said she couldn't wait until they brought Walker home. You see, all his life, the doctor had had a love of Chuck Norris, especially the show Walker, Texas Ranger, which I realized when I saw the picture in his living room. Why else would a grown man have that picture? The only thing that could stop his lifetime dream of naming his son Walker, Texas, would be if somebody else that he knew named their child the same thing. Someone perhaps with a convenient last name of Granger. The doctor knew he couldn't tell you were having a boy until he knew for sure what he was having. He couldn't risk the name Walker, Texas going to your baby boy.
Thank you again. Goodbye, Detective.
Goodbye. There's nothing quite like laboring all night so that you can deliver justice by the morning.